Tonight on Legislative Review, a bill regarding the state's Covenant Homeownership program. Plus, a bill proposing more money for public schools. That's coming up on Legislative Review.
Our area median income is at 100%, and so it's low, and a lot of the homeowners or potential homeowners have to stack many programs to be able to get into a home, in particularly places like King County, Pierce County, Sonoma County, but they're also being squeezed out of opportunities in rural counties because the inventory is just so low and the cost is so high.
A bill heard in the House Monday afternoon could expand home ownership opportunities in Washington's housing market.
All right, everybody, welcome back. The Housing Committee is back in session.
House Bill 1696, reviewed by the House Housing Committee, aims to expand eligibility for the Covenant Home Ownership Program, which provides down payment and closing cost assistance to first-time home buyers. The program was created to help those affected by racially restrictive covenants that historically kept people of certain races and ethnicities from owning homes, practices that were banned by the Fair Housing Act in 1968. These discriminatory practices created economically disadvantaged communities of color. If passed, the bill would raise the income limit for applicants to 140% of the area median income, allowing more Washingtonians, including those living in high-cost areas, to qualify for assistance. Those receiving loans through the program will also be eligible for full loan forgiveness after 5 years of repayment. Democratic Representative Jamila Taylor, the bill's prime sponsor, said it would allow families of color to build intergenerational wealth.
Allowing the folks who have been living in the home for 5 years or more to be able to get equity from that investment. That is the whole purpose of repairing the harm that was done by locking folks out of housing options by the racially restrictive covenants.
Housing advocates believe it would open up opportunities for first-time homebuyers and provide real financial relief with the new income eligibility increase. Daryl Smith of Homesite, a nonprofit low-income housing developer and lender.
The median home price in Seattle, King County being over $900,000, and I believe in Pierce County over $700,000, you're just not reaching enough people. All of our down payment assistance outside of CHA is capped at 80% area median income. This is paying it forward in a way that allows families that have been historically shut out to catch up and take care of their future generations as well.
Steve Walker of the Washington State Housing Finance Commission said it will help an overlooked market, those who are struggling to buy a home but don't currently qualify for assistance.
That in a large number of renters who otherwise would be eligible for the Covenant program earn too much to be eligible, but still not enough to afford a modest home in today's market. Even if you earn a higher wage and are in a good position to afford a mortgage, you're going to have trouble saving for the down payment. And when discrimination kept your parents or your grandparents from passing down wealth, you're less likely to be able to rely on family wealth to help you with that down payment.
No one testified to oppose House Bill 1696. During the hearing, the committee also heard legislation that proposes to limit the corporate purchase of homes and mobile home parks.
I'm going to open the hearing on HB 1356.
The House Finance Committee held a public hearing Tuesday morning to discuss House Bill 1356, aimed at increasing funding for K-12 schools. Here's what it could mean for students and communities. The bill aims to enable schools to raise more money locally over time to support their programs and staff. It also proposes more funding for substitute teachers, students with disabilities, underserved school districts, and an historic first, state assistance for charter schools. A task force to study K-12 education funding would also be created under the bill to address any funding inequalities statewide. Here's a breakdown of the proposal. The bill would gradually raise the maximum amount schools could collect through local levies, reaching over $5,000 per student by 2031, through property taxes that fund schools. LEA, or Local Effort Assistance, helps school districts that can't raise enough through local taxes. The bill would increase LEA with $200 more per student in 2026 and $300 more in 2027. This assistance would also be available for charter schools, which didn't get it before. The current special education funding limit is 16% of the total student population in each district. In a major shift, the bill proposes to remove that cap, which has long been a point of concern for many school districts. It also proposes changes to how that funding is calculated and distributed. The bill also aims to increase funding for substitute teachers, giving schools more money to cover absences. If enacted, substitute teacher rates would also go up to $200 a day and would be adjusted for inflation every year starting in 2027. And instead of a flat 1% growth limit, the bill aims to change how much property tax can grow each year, considering population changes and inflation, with a cap at 3%. Democratic Representative Steve Bergquist sponsored the bill.
We have lessened the burden on our local school levies, probably to the point where we need to give a little more local control back to those school districts to have that opportunity to levy some additional dollars. There's been a lot of districts asking for that. I think this bill helps kind of right the ship on the levy side. It creates the opportunity for us to have a discussion about what true equitable school funding might be and how we could make efforts with these dollars that are established, like created over the ensuing out years in the biennia, to really focus on equitable funding.
Max Martin of the Association of Washington Business opposed the bill.
We're concerned about the approach of placing additional financial burdens on taxpayers across the state. A recent statewide poll shows that 76% of voters believe that the legislature has enough money to address key priorities but needs to spend it more effectively. Rather than imposing higher taxes, lawmakers should focus on better allocation of record revenues already available.
Testifying on behalf of the Washington Education Association, Julie Salvi spoke in favor.
We are supportive of the levy and levy equalization changes that are occurring. This will be one way to look at addressing some inequities in our system.
Taking a neutral stance on the bill, Karen Lobos of Charter Public School Rainier Prep shared her concerns.
I am concerned that the current calculation methodology for charter public schools in this bill would prevent Rainier Prep from accessing permanent enrichment funding, jeopardizing our ability to sustain the support our students need and deserve to continue to grow long term. I ask that you amend HB 1356 to ensure all public school students, including charter public school students, have access to permanent and ongoing funding. Thank you for your consideration.
To watch the full hearings featured in this episode, along with gavel-to-gavel coverage of this session's legislative activity, log on to tvw.org.